Hello summoners, welcome back to the channel, and in this video we'll be doing another tier list update for the month of January, first tier list of the year. And I haven't done a face cam video in a very long time. It's been so long in fact that I don't know where I kept my border, like around the image at the bottom, so we're doing it without the border, I guess. Anyways, coming back to the tier list, we have a few changes here. Added a new emoji for battleground. It's the salt emoji. For some reason there are not that many options, so yeah, we'll discuss why characters have why characters are good for battlegrounds and stuff. We have two new characters coming in, two very good champions coming in this month. Baron Zemo, I think I just uploaded a video on him yesterday. It was his embargo, and then before that, where is Mystic, Absorbing Man, both in a pretty high class. There is a small disclaimer of Baron Zemo. I'll give it when we come to him, I guess. And we'll also be talking about, Corvus Glaive for some reason, because I did downgrade him from this tier to this tier. A lot of people requested it. I checked other people's tier list. He's not there for a lot of people, and yeah, I kind of want to talk about it, but I don't know where to start. Also, I kind of want to talk about the Hulk buff. I don't think it's live yet, but in the beta, holy shit, he's very good. He is super good. I really enjoy playing with him. That kind of damage output is very insane. Also, the stun lock potential is kind of crazy. Okay, so I think let's just start with the new characters, starting with Absorbing Man. He is a pretty interesting character. If I open up his page here, this is one thing that I kind of do not like, and let me see if you can point it out. Still going. His kit is so long. I don't know. I kind of prefer characters who are simple. This character to play is not simple at all. To understand, is not that tough. You can see a guide and you kind of will get an idea of what he does. But you need to be good with light intercepting to pause his phase and stuff. Personally, I'm not good at that. And yeah, that's why I have an emoji next to him. It's the high skill emoji. It's like there are not that many characters who deserve this emoji. I think just Tigra, Quake, and now him. He's not as tough as them, to be honest, because they have a completely different playstyle. With Tigra with your spacing, and with Quake with being comfortable against the corner, and you have completely different playstyle for those characters. Ghost as well, I guess. But Absorbing Man, light intercepting is not a unique skill to him. You can, if you learn how to do it, it's gonna help you with pretty much every single character, with probably some nodes as well in the future. So I think it's just that, if you are a slightly newer player, and this kind of also is related to the Corvus point. A lot of time newer players come and see tier list, and they can see a character like him being pretty damn high, but I don't think you'll be able to use them to the maximum potential unless you are very skilled. So if you are just beginning to learn how to intercept or parry, a character who demands you to know how to light intercept might not be that effective. A champion in the category here like Scarlet Witch, if you have a weekend at a decent signature level with a synergy, maybe might be much better for you personally at that time than a character who in the right hands is potentially better, if that makes any sense. So yeah, that's what I want to say about Absorbing Man. And holy shit, this kid is so long. The one good thing that he does have that I wanted to point out was this part, that he reduces duration of opponents, indestructible, immortality, unstoppable, unblockable. Not your usual nullify, but indestructible, immortality, being able to reduce that by 90% is pretty unique, I would say. And then unstoppable and unblockable are your most annoying buffs, I would say. So the fact that he can deal with that passively, all the time is pretty damn impressive. I think he is a character who will be very good in a lot of niche scenarios, and when played correctly, the damage is very good. It can go pretty crazy. Now Moving on, next character we have is Baron Zemo. The disclaimer I was talking about earlier was that I tested it in the CCP server. Apparently there has been a bug that that makes the AI slightly more passive while they're rooted, and they're just holding block, which is not allowing us to get to the second special one after throwing the SP2. Like, all the rotation is basically get to almost 3 bars of power, launch at SP2, one medium hit should give you one SP1, launch at SP1, and ideally before the route ends, get back to another SP1, and then you have crazy damage coming out of this character. But currently, because of the passive I tried for 2 hours, I was not able to get the second SP1 one single time, never got it. So even without it, his damage output is good. He is slightly ramp up character, but even then, against a medium-ish health pool, I would say Winter Soldier for rank 4 characters is kind of medium-ish at this point. So he did pretty well. I would say he's above average damage wise even then, and I think if you can land both the SP1s, then he is going to be kind of crazy. So we'll see where he goes. I think he has a lot of potential, and he is fun to play. But yeah, that's all with the new characters. Now the Corvus issue. So Corvus Glaive, again, as I mentioned before, a lot of time new players come and see this list. I think Corvus, there's some champions who were the best at one point, and even though they haven't been nerfed or anything, like Blade, they are just better characters now. With Corvus, I don't feel the same way. If you get him early on, there are a lot of quests where he can still absolutely crush it. It's just that he's not as good as he used to be in the end game. If you're not in the end game, he can still do a lot of stuff before, like, I think Act 6ish, he is pretty crazy till that point. And if you are running suicides, also there are 2 ways to approach a game in my opinion. I play a lot of Souls game. I can open my Steam library here, top 4 games, 3 of them are Souls games, and there are 2 ways to do things, basically, not in Sekiro but other 2. You can either farm and make things easier for you, be over leveled in easier terms to understand, or there are some crazy players who can just do a level 1 run and beat the final boss at level 1 and stuff like that, and majority of the players are in between. Is there a right way to play it? No, and that's kind of the same thing with MCOC, especially when it comes to exploration. I still haven't explored I don't think I've explored Act 600, no, Act 7, or was it Act? I don't even remember what I've explored. I've explored 8.1, but Act 7, yeah, I haven't explored Act 6, I remember now. I think I'm done 6.1 100%, and then just completion, and then Act 7 completion, and then 8.1 is the first quest that I've explored in a very long time. So if I go to Act 6 now with the rank 4 Corvus, even though people say generally speaking he's not good for endgame content, maybe if you are someone like me, you wait a while, and by that time you just have a higher level Corvus, he can still kind of crush everything. So maybe if you are someone who likes to over level and then go for exploration or something, then Corvus is still gonna be pretty damn good for you. I think if you go to Act 8 with a rank 4, maybe not, but if maybe with a rank 5 he can still do it in the first set of charges after he get the first charge. So maybe Corvus is a pretty interesting character, I think, because when he has his charges he is just insane, especially paired up with suicide masteries and cosmic power boost. But that's a lot for a character to require, and all the champions here are pretty damn good even without it. So I don't know how I feel about Corvus going down. I feel like Act 4, Act 5, Act 6, early on at least, he is still very viable, probably one of the better characters, and very easy to play as well. Big yellow numbers and extremely fun to play. So that's all I have to say about Corvus. Do let me know what you feel about that, because I do feel like a lot of characters, ease of the champion's kit, their rotation, and your skill requirement in order to use them, they are also kind of big factors when making these lists, in my opinion at least. Of course, if you are ranking them, you have to assume max potential, otherwise Otherwise, how are you gonna rank? Every person, even two skill players, they have very different play styles, which can make a character. It's just a long debate. And never mind. Let's just talk about the battleground good characters who are good in battlegrounds, and then move on because yeah, I don't want this video to be too long. Um, talking about Cosmic Ghost Rider first. He's good for battlegrounds because he's pretty much good for everything. Dude is a nuke option, and here I'm gonna mostly talk about, generally speaking, good battleground champions, not for this particular meta, which I'm not a huge fan of, to be honest. I don't think anybody, well, probably some people are fans of this meta, but I'm not one of them. But yeah, Cosmic Ghost Rider, generally speaking, he can use nuke fights. He is super quick. There are very few characters who can even come close damage output wise, and that's why he's there. He beats fights super quickly. Next up, we have Hulkling, a great defender, a great attacker. You can use him pretty much both ways and still do really well. So that's why he is I think, one of the best characters to have for battlegrounds particularly. And you can say kind of the same for Galen. For Galen, battlegrounds is his health pool. Like, it's what Corvus is for short / medium fights. That's Galen for a battlegrounds fight. He's perfect for it. He makes very quick work of battleground fights, and yeah, again, there are very few characters who can even come close time wise. Plus, he can be used as a defender as well. Now, Human Torch is very simple. Why he is, why can't even click on him. Yeah, why is Human Torch a good battleground character? Everybody knows he slays all the mystics. There are a lot of annoying mystic characters, and if you get him, like if you draft him, it can really mess up the opponent's defenders if they have a heavy mystic defending roster. And even otherwise, like, there are a lot of matchups you can do, like even with Thing, who used to be extremely annoying in earlier metas. Even in this meta, I think he is pretty bad. You can get your pre-fight on, and still, like, his pre-fight, the fact that you can access that even in a non-ideal matchup, he can still do alright, better than expected. Quicksilver, Scorpion, again, really solid champions for battlegrounds. Kingpin, I think one of the best battlegrounds champion. I see him, I draft him. He's rank 4 for me. Defensive ability reduction is always good. The damage good. He's extremely sustainable. Ends fight at pretty much 100% health unless you make a huge mistake. Nick Fury is he's probably one of the oldest champion who's still so useful in battlegrounds. He has been in the game for so long. His damage is amazing. You can absolutely use him on attack. You can also, if you have like a rank 4 Nick Fury or something, you can just play with him in his first phase, and then deliberately as soon when the fight is about to be over, kind of get pushed to a second phase and heal up pretty much to 100% health and add a good amount of health. Or you can just put him on defense and he is gonna be annoying no matter what the opponent is having. Like, I have fought so many Nick Furies with Archangels, and you can never relax. This guy, he can always be annoying, and even if he's not, like, even if it doesn't, he probably won't get the kill because people are very used to fighting him. He probably will waste a lot of time, and by that time, if you have a good matchup, you are probably gonna win that. So Nick Fury, a solid champion to rank up offensively, defensively, whatever you want to throw at him, he can do it. Archangel doesn't have, this is the biggest mistake I've done in my YouTube career. Archangel, how doesn't he have, like, he is so good in battlegrounds and everything in the game, if you're being honest. Yeah, I did a video a very long time ago. Maybe you can look it up if you want, comparing him to Red Magneto. At that time, pretty much everybody unanimously agreed that Red Magneto is the best mutant character in the game. There were no Kitty Pryde back then, and even Colossus was really high in people's list, and probably 2 years back or something. And I made a video comparing Magneto and Archangel. They work in different ways. But Magneto is great against hashtag metal champions, and Archangel is great against anybody who isn't immune to bleed or poison or both. So I did the calculation, and I think it was like much I think only 30-ish% of the champions at that time were immune to either bleed or poison or both. So 70% of the champs in the game, you can pretty much Archangel it, and in my opinion that made him the best mutant at that time. And I don't think he's the best mutant anymore, but I do think I would place him higher than Magneto in my personal ranking, and especially in Battlegrounds. And a big reason for that is the fact that you cannot just Archangel 70% of the fights, and when you can Archangel the fight, you are going to be done pretty quickly. You probably are going to ignore the nodes and abilities and everything, and yeah, it's a very simple heavy only fight. Archangel is a character that I absolutely love. He's probably my favorite in the game, so call me biased. And then another thing I wanted to talk about Archangel, yeah, so a lot of people, like, let's forget about Battleground for a moment. Let's talk about questing in general. A lot of people say that he is great against certain matches but trash against immune characters. I agree. I don't think anybody can disagree that Archangel sucks against a matchup where he can't get the neuros. But here's the thing, you have 5 characters or at least 3 characters in most quests, you know, even if it's like a Lance Ward as quest, you have 3 slots, otherwise you have 5 slots. Just use somebody else in those fights when he can't get the neuros, when the opponent is immune to some debuff. Just don't use him, and rest of the path he is absolutely going to slay. So Archangel, have him, rank him up. If you have a gem, give it to him. Sigs, he doesn't really need it. He can kind of use them, but he's fine without them. Moving up, we have Kitty's actually not bad because she can be used as all-rounder. I kind of find her annoying to fight against. Maybe it's a personal thing. Magneto again, Apocalypse again as a defender can be used in Battleground. Magneto can be used both ways, to be honest. You can kind of trap the opponent if they just have metal champions left and you place a Magneto. They're pretty screwed at that point. Moving on, again, most characters here, because they are so good, they are probably gonna be good in Battlegrounds as well, but I wanted to select very few, the top of the meta kind of characters. Nimrod, I feel, is, again, he's basically a tech Human Torch, but for mutant characters. Place an Apocalypse. I don't even place, I'll just leave my Apocalypse if the opponent has Nimrod. He's crazy, and on defense as well, he can be pretty annoying. So Nimrod, absolutely must have in Battlegrounds. I didn't have him for a very long time. I missed out on a lot, I will say that. And holy shit, Ghost has so many emojis next to her. That's kind of funny. Moving on, we have Doom. Doom is kind of in Nick Fury's situation. Offense, yeah, he's good at it. Defense, he's good at it. Prestige, he has it. Doom has pretty much everything going for him, and even I will say this, he's not the best on either offense or defense. Opponent has a Human Torch, he's probably not gonna do pretty well, but if you have a rank 4 Doctor Doom, the block damage, just a block, and if the opponent makes a mistake, they're dead. They're pretty much dead if they make a mistake. If they don't, you can count on a decent kind of long fight because of his crit resistance and stuff, and also his aura can make it a little bit annoying for a lot of characters, especially champions who don't with special attack reliant champions and stuff. And you can count on a lot of block damage. So I think, yeah, Doctor Doom, damage output wise, he's not the fastest, but he can, once the SP3 goes down, fight is pretty much under your control, so you can kind of end at a decent health. He is pretty sustainable, I will give him that. Then Tigra, super quick. If you know Tigra, then use her pretty much everywhere, and she'll be pretty fast. She will end at a decent health, and she is just crazy in the right hands. Rintra, again, offense, defense, use wherever you want, and mostly on defense. Attack wise, Rintra, I recently got him. I don't know if in Battlegrounds. I probably like he's very sustainable. I know that much, but damage output wise, he has the potential if the SP2 crits. But if it doesn't crit, maybe not. I don't know. Do let me know how, if you use Rincho on offense, how good is the damage output? Can he beat those crazy times? Then second column, moving on. Anybody has Salt? Thing, universally good defender. No matter what the meta is, put him on defense, he will annoy people. Unless they have a Falcon or something, then don't put him on defense. Then we have Overseer. Very good for a lot of metas. Again, I personally do not have this character, so I can't give you any tips or anything on him. But I've seen a lot of gameplay, he is impressive. And then we have Falcon, a lot of node ignoring, a lot of champion abilities ignoring. He is again kind of a must-have if you don't have that many counters to champions like Thing, for example. But he can counter more than that, I will say this. Then Hit Monkey, super high damage, super duper high damage, and that is sometimes all you need in a Battlegrounds fight. And then we have Massacre. He got the biggest bump in my tier list ever. He was probably somewhere here, maybe even here at one point, and holy shit, he is so good in Battlegrounds. Like, I've seen him in tournaments, he's super good. And also, I don't think I added it, but where is Shabanor? Where is, yeah, I haven't added it. Let me do it just now. He's also really Fintech. Probably these two characters, I have the Salt icon, added them because of Fintech, and also Hood. I think I saw a few Hood fights. I don't remember who, but in Vegas tournament they really used him extremely well. Guardian, I've seen him being used against me so many times. A lot of times I've underestimated him, and he is very quick, and he finishes with good health as well. So yeah, I think that is kind of it. I think I covered everybody I wanted to talk about. Black Widow Deadly Origin, very fast, a nuke option. Most of your nuke options are pretty good. Cersei as well, good defender, can be used offensively as well. So yeah, that's pretty much gonna do it for this one. I will say this, if you have been watching this long, thank you. We have a synergy tab here. If you want to check those out, we have the synergy icon. If somebody is missing, do let me know in the comment section down below, and I will try my best to help you out. That's gonna do it for this one. Thanks for watching. Have a nice day. It's good to do a face cam after this long, and yeah, bye bye.